Hello, this is Coach Marsha Collins, and I am coming to you with my very first podcast, and I'm so excited. Butterfly Blessings, the podcast. I am a certified Christian life coach and public speaker, and Butterfly Blessings is my business that brings you divine inspirations. Now, I thought about several names for my podcast. One of them, very interesting. God gave me gas. I know. It's an interesting story behind that. God gave me a song. And the reason why I say that is a lot of times things that are revealed to me come to me in song. So we know that with our Father that it's a relationship. So, but what I really am coming to talk to you about today, my topic is knowing your worth. Basically, we'll talk a little bit about, respect. And knowing your worth, a lot of times change is something that it's good, but change is scary. Change can be painful. Changing your mindset can be a painful growth experience. For example, just like your job situation, changing your job, having changes in your relationship. You may be trying everything in your power to stay and make things work. And I mentor and coach teens and young girls, young ladies. And to kind of make this relatable to them as well, as far as knowing your worth, a lot of times things involving relationships with friends as teens. For instance, you get invited to a party, or you have a friend or a boyfriend. You have someone that's challenging your character. It may be that you're at a party, that there's a situation that you're placed in and you're feeling uncomfortable as far as doing something that you don't feel comfortable with, or you are in a relationship situation where you have someone that's kind of degrading to you, that may be calling you names like stupid or anything like that. And it is very, very important for us to know our worth. Sometimes we fight to remain in a place where we don't belong, a place where God himself may be trying to move us from. And there's this quote that I was reading over and saw recently, and this quote says that you must find the courage to leave the table where respect is no longer served. Let you marinate on that. You must find the courage to leave the table where respect is no longer being served. What does that quote mean to you? When I was looking at that quote, I was kind of looking at specific words in the quote that stood out to me and kind of, broke those down, and they came to mean certain things to me. And just like it says, you must find the courage. Finding the courage, I related that to like in the scriptures of like in the Joshua scriptures, it tells us to be strong and of good courage. So that's something I thought of. Then it also was telling us about you must find the courage to leave the table. And when I thought about leave, I thought about leave as far as in John, where Jesus left us, but Jesus left us a helper, which was our comforter in times of need, that gives us, the urges of right and what's wrong. And then also, I looked at the word respect, because it says you must have the courage to leave the table where respect is no longer being served. Respect is very important. Respect. You should respect your brothers and sisters. So there's type of brotherly love. Respect sometimes requires some submissiveness to those that are in authority. Sometimes authority may mean your bosses or whoever. You may be dealing with somebody in authority that is mean or unreasonable. And I can say myself too, that may be something that's a work in progress, but you have to know your worth. If you're in a situation where you have, say, a job situation, or you have, even a friend, whatever the situation is, where you may have someone that is a person that constantly is attacking you or attacking your character. As far as our teens, you may deal with your attacks, may deal with you being in situations where you're dealing with peer pressure from your peers and your friends to do something that you don't believe or that is not right. When you have Jesus in your heart, those nudges of what's right and what's wrong come when you allow God to come through and allow your perspective to change. When you change your perspective, when you're changing your perspective, you can change your world, because mindset is everything. Many times we give life to situations that we see as not being able to conquer, and sometimes we need to try to work on turning those negatives into positives. Everyone deserves respect, regardless who they are. Everyone deserves a level of respect. Our life is a gift. And a lot of times we have to focus on the positives. Well, how do you do that? How do you focus on the positives? Looking at that quote again, the quote says, you must find the courage to leave the table where respect is no longer being served. So one way we can focus on positive things is we can focus on prayer. I've had some of my youth and teens that I mentor ask me about prayer, and to ask me, how do you pray? I talk to God just like God is my friend. That's what I tell him. He is my friend. And it doesn't have to be anything that's extravagant or, just simple. Sometimes my prayers are as simple as, Lord, help me in the name of Jesus. Sometimes you don't necessarily know what to pray. He knows our heart. He already knows our heart. Another thing that we can do is focus on things that we can control. That reminds me of, I think about the serenity prayer. And, the serenity prayer says, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things that I can change, accept the things I can't, and the wisdom to know the difference. And then one of the third things that we can focus on is, in focusing on the positives, is focus on the things that are going right. Sometimes we tend to look toward the things that are not going right and what we haven't done or haven't been able to accomplish. But small victories are victories, and we need to focus on rewarding ourselves for every and small victory, because a victory is a victory. So change can be good. Really, respect is knowing your worth, knowing who you are in God and who He has created you to be. So I am definitely hoping that this first episode helped someone today. And I am, again, Coach Marsha Collins, and a certified life coach and public speaker. And my business is Butterfly Blessons, LLC. And I can be reached through email at butterflyblessons@gmail.com. So that is ButterflyBlessons@gmail.com. So feel free to contact me. I welcome your comments, and I thank you so much for listening, and I hope you have a blessed day. Thanks.